Hey everybody, I'm here to walk through the specifics of going gold. We are going to start off talking about the movement from super silver to gold because your first goal in this business is to go silver, which is fantastic, and many of you have done. And your next goal after that is to go super silver, which I just did a video on that. So hopefully you can go watch that and see the specifics of that. And now your next rank that you're trying to work on is gold. So if you went super silver last month with 10 people, 10 active ambassadors in your first 3 levels, you'd get 5 points for each one of those people. So 10 times 5 is going to be 50 points. Now let's assume that all of those 10 people that you got last month or that you had from previous months have their $100 PV subscription on. So let's just pretend all those people, the 10 people you got, still have their subscription on for this month. That is going to give you the 50 points for super silver. I'm going to walk through everything on this board and tell you what everything is. So let's start at super silver because that would have been your last rank that you maybe just hit last month or whatever, and you're looking towards gold now. So you're going to need 100 points for gold. Now you will probably experience some attrition and have people turning off subscriptions. This may make your starting point value of less than 50 points, but it's an easy round number for me to start with, and it would have been your last rank goal, so I'm going to start there. Now the amount of ambassadors needed to rank from super silver to gold will totally vary depending on how many existing ambassadors in your organization currently have their subscription on for 100 PV or more that you can count on ordering this month. That's how you can forecast the points, and we'll kind of stem from that point. So if you look at how many people are in your organization currently right now, if you're going for gold, say this month, how many people are going to order 100 PV this month, and the subscriptions are the best way to look at that. And you want to be sure to follow up and make sure that they're staying consistent with their products, that these orders are going to process, that they have their credit card information up to date, all of that, and stay on top of any credit card declines, because sometimes people change their address or they change their expiration date or they change their cards or whatever. And so I want to just make sure you guys are on top of that. So let me move this in really clear. So anyway, next thing. So it's 100 points for gold. Say you're starting at super silver. That was your last rank. So 100 points for gold. That's a 50-point difference, right? So we're working on a 50-point deficit. But something else to be aware of, you need 15 points outside of your primary leg, right? So if you watch my super silver video, I mentioned that your primary leg is your personally sponsored level 1 who has the largest team. Now, if you have a sea of level 1s and everybody's just single level 1 people that you sponsored, then this is kind of irrelevant to you. But if you have one level 1 who has taken off and starting to work the business, starting to share, and they're having a team of their own, that becomes your strongest leg because they have the largest team. So when you rank up to gold, you need to have 15 points outside of that one ambassador who has this team going. And since your levels 1 through 3 will give you 5 points each when they become active, that's 3 people outside of that one person who has this strong leg. So for super silver, you would have had 10 people at 5 points each to give you 50 points. Gold, you need 100 points. 100 points at 5 points per person is going to be 20 active ambassadors. So that's a good, easy way to initially look at it. People in your levels 1, 2, and 3 to give you points. It's going to be 20 active ambassadors in your first 3 levels. Before we move forward, I want to mention that in my super silver video, I mentioned that you get mock points for people who have just $99 welcome packs, because we normally don't get actual points for those. And that is true for gold. You're not going to get points for $99 welcome packs. The only way you're going to get points for people coming into your organization this current month, it's going to be if they have a $199 welcome pack. If they're a $99 welcome pack newbie that also spends $100 in PV over their welcome pack, or they're an existing ambassador who orders 100 PV either through a subscription, like say these people are last month, or they make a manual order of 100 PV to remain active as an ambassador. So those are the only 3 ways you're going to get points for those people in this current month. So say you're at a 50-point deficit, so you need 50 points, right? Again, this is super easy math. And you want to have 20 active ambassadors, well, you know that your levels 1 through 3 are going to give you 5 points each. So you take that 50-point deficit. So whatever your deficit is right now, divide that by 5, and you know you need 10 ambassadors. So 10 ambassadors needed this month. So that's where you're at for looking at who you need to personally recruit this month, or who your team needs to recruit this month. And your goal should be to really get 10 newbies in your organization with $199 welcome packs this month. That is going to be your fastest way to achieve gold this month. Now you can recruit people with $99 welcome packs and try to get them to go 100 PV over their welcome pack if you want to rank up this month, but that's a much harder route to go to get people to add on to their welcome pack. But if you have newbies join this month with a $99 welcome pack and they do not order additional products to achieve that 100 PV, you will only get points for them next month when their subscription order goes through, or they order their $100 manually in $100 in PV manually in product next month. So if you think about that if you're sponsoring $99 welcome pack people this month, you're going to have to most likely wait till next month to actually achieve points for them to work towards gold. Now, if you want to spread out this goal of needing 10 new ambassadors across 2 months, then that's fine. You can do a few this month and a few next month, but just know the fastest way is to get $199 welcome packs to join your organization, because you're going to get points for them in the current month. Now, if you have them join with a $99 welcome pack, then you're having them hopefully get their $100 in PV next month to give you points. So that's just something to think about as you're growing your team. But say in your current month, you take whatever your point deficit is. If you just went super silver and you have 50 points coming in because all those people, you have 10 people at 5 points each who all have their subscriptions on, that'd be fantastic. You know you need 50 more points to get to gold. And so if you can take that and divide it by 5, because you know that people in your levels 1 through 3 are going to give you 10 points apiece, or 5 points each. I'm so sorry. You're going to need 10 of those people at 5 points each to join your organization this month. And so the fastest way is going to be to get newbies with $199 welcome packs to get points in the current month. Now, each month, like I said, you're going to have some attrition. People will turn off subscriptions. They'll get inconsistent. They'll quit their products. They'll whatever. But it's our job to follow up and keep them consistent, to fight attrition, but also to grow our teams more quickly than the attrition is happening. Success really, really loves speed. The faster you grow, the faster you can really get your team to take off, the easier it is to fight attrition. So staying in activity, really plugging people into events, reaching out to new people, growing your network, that is so key, because attrition will happen. And it's usually around this going for gold rank that once you've really hit silver and super silver, it's pretty good for those ranks. But once you get closer to gold and start to get that larger team, you might notice that you have to have a lot more than 20 ambassadors on your team to get 20 of them to stay active. So you might find that the first few people that joined you when you went silver maybe aren't active anymore, or maybe they're just they aren't ordering all their products every single month because they've gotten inconsistent, and they maybe have a backlog of products or something, and they skip a month or whatever. So those are types of things you really have to stay on top of. And you need to be ready and overshoot your goals. That if you know that I need 10 ambassadors this month, or 10 ambassadors over the next 2 months, depending on what your timeline is, I would extend that out and say I need 12 or 15 ambassadors to make sure that I'm compensating for any of the attrition that might happen on the back end, because it might come to the month that you really want to run for gold, and then you have 2 people from the very beginning that weren't consistent over spring break or whatever, and so they have a whole 3 weeks worth of product left. They don't need to order product this month or whatever, and so you want to stay on top of things like that. And I just want to plant that seed in there, that success really does love speed. The faster you can recruit and stay in activity and get some other level ones on your team recruiting as well, the faster you're going to grow and the faster you're going to rank up, and the more likely you are to fight that attrition that's going to happen on the back end. It will happen. Don't let it discourage you, because it's something that's a part of the business, but obviously we follow up and work for people to remain consistent. So by now you're probably mostly level 1s, maybe some level 2s if you found 1 or 2 people that you've personally sponsored to be interested in sharing. But as you are recruiting more level 1s, I want you to keep asking anyone who has already joined you as an ambassador if they want to have an online event, if they want to post on Facebook to see if friends and family want to try it, if they're interested in sending out some messages to some people that they might know who have, digestive issues or sleep problems or mood instabilities or chronic pain or want to lose weight or an autoimmune disorder or whatever the thing may be, see if they know anybody like that you can give them a message that they can send to those people and invite them to hear more about it or share a testimony with them that you can help them find, things like that. Because when you are doing all the work, it takes time. Recruitment takes time. Follow-up takes time. All of that takes time and effort and expanding your network and all of that. But imagine if you could find somebody else to do it with you, and now your growth is just rolling in exponentially because maybe you find one or two people to do this with you, to have events and things or be inviting their friends, and now you can tap into their network as well. So this is the point when you really want to focus on that duplication, because we have a saying in Plexus that if you can get to gold, you can get to diamond, because it's all about just a few things repeatedly. It's personal recruitment, it's following up to ensure retention, and it's asking newbies if they know anyone who might be interested or if they're open to sharing, and then duplicating that process down so that they understand how to grow their network and share with people, and also ask their own newbies if they are ready to share or have an online event or whatever, so that they can repeat those steps in their growing teams. So that's what it's all about. And usually around the gold rank is when people start finding one or two people, maybe three people that might be interested in having an online event or something and sharing with some friends and family. So if you're trying to go gold, what I want you to look at is in your back office, who has a $100 PV subscription currently on that's going to run this month. Now know who those people are and follow up with them to ensure that is going to run. If they have any credit card difficulty, you need to make sure you're on top of that and remedy that as soon as possible. And so count up those points. They're probably in your first 3 levels, unless for whatever reason you've gotten really deep for some reason, but they're probably in your first 3 levels. So each one of those people probably gives you 5 points a person. And subtract that number from 100. See what your deficit is. So if you're looking at 10 people who have subscriptions on for 100 PV or more, then you can probably count on them to order this month. Now, again, some might have trouble, most won't. So if you have 10 people, you've got 50 points coming in this month. And so you have a 50-point deficit from 100 points to go gold. And you know that you're going to need 10 more people at 5 points apiece to give you points this month. And the easiest way to do that is going to go help somebody on your team as well as yourself find 10 newbies total, at least with 199 welcome packs. That is going to be your fastest, quickest, easiest way to do this. And I want you to always be cognizant that you need at least 15 points outside of your primary leg to go gold, included in that 100 points. So 15 points of that 100 needs to be outside of your primary leg. If you happen to have one person who's just running with the business and is creating a team of their own, that person who has the largest team is your primary leg. Again, if you're all level 1s and you just have a bunch of level 1s, that part is completely irrelevant because everyone's team is the same size. But if you have somebody who's taken off, you need to have 15 points outside of that person over here, that of people you personally sponsored. That's 3 people at 5 points apiece, right? You need to have at least 15 points outside of that primary leg in order to go gold at 100 points. So hopefully this was helpful, but the focus on gold I really want to show you is duplication and finding somebody to run with you, because if you can get yourself to gold, you can absolutely get yourself to diamond, because it's all about personal recruitment, following up for retention, and then grabbing some friends to do this with you so that your growth starts to be exponential and you can really duplicate your efforts downward and have your team grow larger and larger and faster and faster. So drop all your questions below and I will work to answer them, and I hope this was helpful for everybody. Thanks.